So I have a few points to add on to the last video I did on how to deal with uninvited guests. And what I want to focus on in this video is us, the me in that scenario. Because in the last video I focused on, okay, how you can try and manage the situation or support the person who's coming into your space, but not so much on who am I within that scenario when someone shows up at my place or in my space and doesn't leave me alone. Who am I, or who do I become? So for myself, I feel awkward and uncomfortable, and I want to be nice. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to make them feel bad. So a lot of the time what happens is I will allow a situation in which I actually do feel uncomfortable to carry on. And when I say when I feel uncomfortable, I mean like to a degree I don't feel quite safe, because it's usually in situations like that, it's with someone you don't know. And me being a female, it's kind of, there's always at the back of your mind, there's always this thought of maybe this person is going to do something to me, or maybe they want to do something to me that I don't want them to do to me. So in that respect, my tendency is to almost compromise myself in those situations because I don't want to be mean. And how I've been practicing correcting that is to much sooner and much more cleanly extricate myself from that situation. So I am now practicing letting go of that experience of guilt, of like I should be there to talk to this person because maybe they're lonely, maybe they need me to talk to them. Let go of that stuff and then assess the situation of, okay, what can I actually do here? Am I in a position to support this person? If yes, okay, how? If no, then do I feel safe? Do I not feel safe? What's happening? Is it better for me to leave, or let me see what happens, whatever. Now, what other ways, excuse me while I chastise the puppy. She was eating the couch. She's now no longer eating the couch. Anyway, so what often happens within other people who've shared with me is that they feel irritated, they feel imposed upon, they feel a whole range of other emotions in a situation where someone is intruding on their space. So now obviously with everything, this is context specific. If you don't feel safe physically or emotionally or mentally or whatever, if you don't feel safe, then the following, what I'm going to be sharing, does not apply to you. If you feel like you are in some form of danger, then get out of the situation. Excuse the cat tail. This is for situations where it's just a typical person. Maybe they're feeling a little bit lonely, maybe they're looking for validation, maybe they are just looking to make a friend. Who are you in that situation when someone comes into your space, whether it's your home or you're at a social event and they are imposing themselves on you in your conversation or whatever? Do you get irritated? If yes, take a step back out of that experience and consider for a moment, what does that say about you? What does that tell you about yourself? That when someone who is insecure in some way is coming to you looking for you to give them some form of security, and you get irritated with them. What is your relationship to that insecurity? What is it within that person that you're reacting to? Is it irritation that they are intruding on your plans for the day or for the evening, that you now cannot do things the way that you imagined you'd be able to do them? Or is that person now cramping your style? So if that is the case, then you're in a position where you need to look at why is that so important to you? Why is it so important for you to appear to be a certain way in a social situation, for example? Or why is it so important for you to do things the way that you planned them exactly? Or why are you getting upset when things don't go your way? What expectations did you have for your day or for that night? If you are getting irritated because your expectations are not coming true, well then, what is your relationship to expectations? Why are you investing yourself emotionally in a projection of what might happen in the future? I'm not saying that we shouldn't imagine what may or may not happen and plan what we will do or who we will be in those moments depending on how things go. What I'm saying is, if we're investing ourselves emotionally in our expectations or in our imaginations, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment, either in that situation or in some other one in the future, where it's like we are trying to put a piece of ourselves into that imagination, because that's what it is, imagination of what may possibly happen in the future. And when things don't go our way, which is mostly the case, then we react emotionally to that because we have invested some part of ourselves, whether it's an emotional part or whatever. We've invested some part of ourselves in things happening the way that we wanted them to happen. And that makes it more difficult to make peace with whatever the outcome actually does happen to be. So that was one very long-winded explanation of one potential play out of why we might get irritated with someone who comes and intrudes on our space or changes our plans. Obviously, I'm not going to go into every single possible reason we might react emotionally to someone intruding, but maybe here the key word is intrusion. What we can do instead of seeing someone coming into our space or coming into our environment, instead of seeing it as an intrusion, we start seeing it as an opportunity. An opportunity to learn more about that person, an opportunity to learn more about ourselves, an opportunity to do something that we maybe hadn't planned and hadn't expected. And use it as, turn it into something that you can actually create, something constructive, something supportive, whatever that may be in your particular life situation or that moment with that person. All right. If you have any questions or would like me to expand on any points, then leave a comment or send a direct message. Otherwise, you can support me on Patreon. The link is below. Or you can support me on Steam, where you can donate Steam dollars, which is a cryptocurrency, to my account. Alright, so thank you for watching. Thank you to my supporters who have been with me from the beginning and from somewhere in between then and now. See you next time.